with it. So the topic for tonight is raising a resourceful team and really raising a resourceful organization. So I recently, well, it's been a little while, but I listened to a podcast that was on being resourceful, finding people that are resourceful. It wasn't necessarily like talking about doTERRA or anything, but it stuck with me, and it's something that I have been noodling around ever since, and I think that there's a lot of value, and I wanted to share about it. So I shared it with my team in the past couple of weeks, and it's interesting because I am an Enneagram 2, which is the helper. So I love helping people. I love helping my team, my customers. Oh, you need help with your LRP? Don't worry, I'll do it for you. Or you need help with this? I'll do it for you. Like I really, sometimes like I help too much. And when I was listening to this podcast and it was talking about, you know, resourceful people and how to be resourceful, right? Because in order to have a resourceful team and organization, you first have to be resourceful. So often when you get, especially when you get to like the leader position where you're not only helping and are the resource for your customers, but now also your team and their customers. So my team is growing, and it's grown a lot in this season that we're in. I think that people are home and people are looking into more natural things. So we've had a growth spurt, and which has been awesome. And it's been filling my soul so deeply. But there's only so many hours in the day, and I have two littles at home, and I've been finding that, you know, I'm not having enough hours in the day to actually work on my own business, and because I'm too busy like helping others with their business. And I know when you get to a certain rank, you feel that, which it's all good. Trust me, it's all good. These are like excellent problems to have. But what dawned on me is just like with our kids, right? There's a point where we can help them too much, and it's a tipping point that we're actually not helping them at all, that we're actually, you know, handicapping them. And so that's actually not helpful. And so me being an Enneagram 2, the helper, like I don't want to help to a point where it's not helpful and it's handicapping them for later, or I'm going to have to hold their hand forever. There's going to be a point where I'm just not going to be able to do that. And then I'm going to feel bad that I'm letting them down, or people are slipping through the cracks, and like, oh my gosh. So my head's exploding, right? So I'm like, how can I get ahead of this? So I told my team about this, and I said, listen, I'm not by any means saying that I don't want you guys to lean on me and be your resource, because I will cry if I don't hear from you guys every day, like I do. But the point is that especially with, it's a little bit different with customers and with builders, right? So with my builders, I could have this conversation with them. So I told them, like, from now on, when you guys ask me a question, I'm not just going to spout you off the answer. I'm going to also tell you where I got it, whether it was in my head or, oh, that you can find on the Facebook group, I searched this, or that's in the, you know, the album section of whatever, or if I can point them in a direction, or this is this answer, but I got it in this book, or, you know, and sometimes to even say like, I really want to help you with this right now, but this is where I would look. You know, if I don't have time, maybe I can just tell them where I would look, because half the time I don't have it all in my head. I'm looking it up for them. But if I'm not teaching them where to look, then I'm not teaching them how to be resourceful. And then so with their customers, they're not teaching them how to be resourceful and where to look for things, and their builders, and so on. And so then I'm just building kind of a weak team if everyone is just, oh, ask Jenna, ask Jenna, ask Jenna. And if 2 or 3 texts are coming through, like if we're looking, you know, 4 or 5 levels down, and they're continuing to text their upline, and everyone's texting up the chain to find the answer, how much time are we wasting? But if I'm just very diligent on teaching my main people, customers and builders, how to be resourceful, meaning there's like a training period, and I don't have like a time frame on this, but every single time you get asked a question, tell them where to get the answer it, but then also tell them, oh, this is it. I found it on the Facebook group. This is what I searched, or it's in this section of the Facebook group, and maybe also tag them. So it's still taking a little bit of time, but maybe you're only doing that for 3 months instead of 3 years. And then you're on to the next people that you're teaching to be resourceful. So if we're all doing this, and then my builders are teaching their customers and their builders and so on and so forth, and we're all just, if I emphasize building a resilient and resourceful team, then imagine the trickle-down effect of that. We're going to have this amazingly strong, resourceful team. And that excites me. So it can go either way. If we're not paying attention to raising a resourceful team, then it can very easily, you could feel overwhelmed because so many people are texting you. You know, maybe some of the questions are good and relevant, but maybe some of the questions are like, really, that's like very easily found on the Facebook group, and you start to get annoyed. And for me, something that's been kind of counterintuitive for me, now that I'm a mom and I'm doing this business and working from home, and then my husband has a side business too that I also assist in him, and then we've got the housework and cooking, and everyone needs to eat every 5 minutes, and us mamas, we wear a lot of hats, right? And so being that I'm a helper, I want to do it all. I want to be there for everybody, and I'm confident that I can do it better. So it's like, here, just let me do it, right? But at the same time, I don't know if this is like when you turn 35, you start to get resentful of people that put something that they're completely capable of doing themselves when they put it on your plate. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And I get really upset about it, but then I'm the helper. So it's like, it's been kind of this thing for me lately where it's like counterintuitive, right? Because it's like, I want to help, but then like, that's something you should be able to do yourself. And so I'm like torn over it. But I feel like I've kind of done this in my marriage without even really knowing it, is I've kind of trained unknowingly my husband to be resourceful. Whenever he asks me what's for dinner, I say, I don't know, but I'm hungry. What's for dinner? You know, and I'm just doing it to kind of be sassy or whatever, but it's true. Like, well, I'm busy too. I worked all day too. Like, why do I need to do that? And it's kind of, I guess it's in my nature, but I want people to be able to fend for themselves. You know, I'm also a prepper. And so I feel like I'm going to go off on a tangent right now. I feel it, but I just feel, where was I actually going with that? Now I screwed myself up. Oh, I know. This is kind of off topic, but it's something that affected me. So my mom is on this call, so she'll remember what this is. But both my grandmothers on both sides lost their husbands. So my dad's mom was very resilient, very resourceful. Nothing in her life changed when my grandpa passed away. As far as like her being able to like take care of business, you know, she wore the pants, let's just say it like that. Okay. So it was like, she was fine. My maternal grandmother, she was very taken care of, you know, their whole marriage. And so I just remember, I don't know, Mom, was I 10 years old and Grammy didn't know how to put gas in her car. And me and my brothers, I mean, we knew how to put gas in the car. It was like, what? You know, and my grandmother, she was gosh, how old was she? 70, So at 7 years old, you don't know how to put gas in your car. And I don't know, that imprinted on me. And I was like, okay, so my grandfather was so chivalrous. He was a gentleman. Oh my gosh, like they just don't make them like that anymore. But so he was doing that, like taking care of his wife. He went and filled up the cars and put fuel in them and stuff like that. But then when he was gone, how did he leave her not being able to take care of herself? So that imprinted on me. And I know that was, it ties in, you guys see that, but it imprinted on me. And I said, I'm not going to be like that. And I'm not going to raise my kids like that. And now I think that way about my team, and it's funny, my paternal grandmother always talked to me like that from a very young age. She said, she would always say, when I'm gone, la, 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 whatever, like, this is what you need to do. Or if I were to go, like, you need to be able to, she taught me like that. And it bugged me because I'm like, why are you always talking about when you're going to die? But it's how I talk to my husband. I don't like to say I wear the pants because I tell him all the time, I'm not wearing the pants. I don't want to wear the pants, but it's just a thing, right? Us moms. So I take care of, a lot of the finances and the paperwork and the file boxes, and I know where everything is at in the house. But I take him on a tour of our house quite regularly. I want to make sure that he knows where to look for our marriage certificate, for the kids' birth certificates, for our passports and our social security. Like, he needs to know where these things are. He needs to know where we've got money. He needs to know, in an emergency, this is what you do. In an emergency, this is the doctor. In an emergency, this is who you call. In emergency, this is not who you call. He knows my wishes. I know his wishes. This is just smart stuff. I feel like we're going into like more of a life lesson here, but it's just, I don't know. We're all a product of our experiences in life. And this is what people need to be resilient and resourceful. And it's kind of just been there for me, especially during this time right now. I feel like I've gone into resourceful mode in my home and getting everything ready and making sure that I'm not the only one that knows where everything is and that things are ready. And I just want to do that with my team as well. But I didn't want them, I want to ramp it up in my team. And I needed to tell my team this because I didn't want them all of a sudden to be like asking me a question and me saying, go look it up over here. And like, just to think I was brushing them off. I'm still going to answer them, but I want to also teach them where things are. When I started to do this, so many of my team members said like, oh my God, I didn't even know that we had, an ebook album on the Facebook group or whatever. And then there's certain information on our customer group, certain information on our builder group, and so on and so forth. So there's different pockets of where we get information. And when I started doing this as a business, I took the time and scoured like every single nook and cranny and corner of all of our resources. And that's the only reason why I know where to look, So that is, not everyone's brain works like that, and not everyone has the time to do that. So at least if I can point people in a direction while I'm answering it, and with customers too, you guys, because already I have too many customers. They're perfectly capable of doing their LRP by themselves, but they forget about their date, even though they get an email. And I find myself taking on that responsibility to make sure that they are paying attention to their LRP and like changing the orders so they're not getting a duplicate order. And oh my gosh, I already got stressed out. I'm like, oh my God, it's the 10th. Who did I forget, in these last 10 days? And it's like, I don't have time for that. I can barely keep track of my own LRP. Last month, for the first time, I let my LRP just ship, and it had like $500 worth of stuff in it that's not the order I was trying to do. So it's like, it's very hard when your team gets to a certain point to keep track of all that. And so we need to start from day one in really taking the time, even if it takes you 3 months of, you know, getting on a Zoom chat with your new customer and walking them through how to do the order. If that customer is with you for 5 years, 10 years, those 3 months that you took the time to get on a Zoom chat, even though that's so annoying in the beginning, and to take the time to do that, you'll be so grateful. And when somebody knows how to do something, they're going to buy more. If they just know, I mean, imagine if they know how to log in anytime they want, just to throw things in their cart and hit save, just like we do on Amazon, right? We don't check out every single time we go on Amazon. We use it as like a grocery list. We throw things in the cart. Imagine if it was that easy for your customers, they would buy more. If they knew the resources, you know, on our Facebook group, they would buy more. If they knew how to get this information for the oils, and they would do more research about their health goals, and they would buy more. It all leads to them being hooked on the oils. The more information, the more they realize they need the oils for different things, and so on and so forth. I've been, my mom and I have really kind of gone a little bit crazy on sending out. Over the past few months, we sent everybody that was on the LRP on our team a hard copy of the Advanced Oil Magic. They went on super duper sale during like the whole COVID thing. So we sent one to everyone, because you know what? For the first 2 years that I was using oils, I didn't have a hard copy book in my possession. And as soon as I got a book, oh my gosh, I started using my oils like crazy. So we felt that it was a super good investment, because people need easy. And that was kind of the start of our, you know, teaching people how to be resourceful campaign, is what's an easy fix here? Let's throw some money at it, spend a couple $100, send a book to everybody. And, you know, I think it's paying off already. I mean, you think $200, like that's a huge investment. You can get that back really quickly if people start ordering and people start realizing that they can look things up by ailments. All of a sudden their list of ailments grow, right? And they're looking up every single ailment, and then they've got a list this long of oils that they need. So, you know, maybe it's not feasible for everyone to do that, but I definitely recommend spending that extra time to, and just putting the attention to building a resourceful team. And maybe, you know, Oil Life, is it Oil Life, Mom, that's doing the 3 books a month for super cheap or something like that?
It's Advanced Oil Magic.
Yeah.
It's the same book that we sent out. They've continued it. So now I get 3 books every month.
So you can do a subscription now for, I think they're $15 each, but if you're on a subscription, they'll give it to you for that price, and you get sent 3 books a month. So we're running, well, I don't know if you are, Mom, but I'm telling my customers, you know, when they start their LRP, after they've ordered for 3 months, I'm going to send them a book. And again, it's part of me getting them on the LRP, and then it's part of me teaching them how to be resourceful, and then putting the best resource right in their hands. And I think that having something tangible right there, you know, they're going to be quicker to grab that than they are to maybe look on the Facebook. But I feel like having that book there is really going to get their juices flowing, and then segueing them to the Facebook group, which is also just, I mean, I use the Facebook group every single day. I search my own stuff on the Facebook group. So I think that's like the second most valuable resource. But I feel like, so having the book in their hands will segue them nicely to be able to use the Facebook group, and then tag your customers. When they ask you a question, answer them, and then tag them in the Facebook. Keep pulling them back to the Facebook. Tag them in something, even if it's, you know, they asked you something a month ago or 3 months ago, but then you came across something on the Facebook group, tag them. Oh, I thought you would enjoy this, or I know we talked about this a long time ago, blah, 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 whatever. Tag them, use the tagging feature. I'm sure all of this is like not new information, but so yeah. So I hope that this was helpful. Let me see, I think we have some chats. Oh, nice. Nice, Beth. Okay, so we have a team chat on Voxer. It's been so helpful to have the team ask questions on there, and other teammates are often faster to answer than me. It's been so helpful. Yes, we use GroupMe. I thought Voxer for some reason was like voice only. Is that true? Because maybe that's a better app that we should use. But yeah, we have our entire team on GroupMe, and quite a few times I've been late to the game and they've helped each other. So yeah. Oh, okay. So I might check that out. I know people have mentioned Voxer. I've never used it before, but yes, I absolutely recommend if your team is growing. Well, obviously if you're on here, you have a team. So I would definitely recommend getting your team onto some sort of oh my gosh, I'm blanking out. It's Oil Life, Rachel. Getting on some sort of a chat. So we were just doing a big group chat for a while, and that's just like super annoying, right? And then two, it doesn't show names. So every time we would add somebody new to the group, it was like, hey, can everyone tell me your names? And we'd have to go over it again. And then you have to start a brand new chat just to add one person, where on GroupMe, I'm sure it's the same on Voxer, you can just add people, and my builders can add people. I don't have to be the one to add people. So I have it open so that they can add whoever they want, like whoever they, new people they have coming in, and then it shows everyone's names. So, oh my gosh, that was like life-changing. So it's just a little bit to get people off of text and onto like an app that they might not be using for any other thing except for this. But again, it's just a training. We get used to that, but it's been so life-changing not to have to, redo the chat all the time, and then not knowing people's names. I feel like just, it's not as intimate when you like just have people's numbers and you have no idea, because probably you know the person, but you just don't recognize their number, Yeah, the Oil Magic book. Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Oil Life, is it? It's from, okay. Thank goodness I have you, Mommy. Thank you. She's my assistant when I'm not resourceful. Okay, it's Oil Magic Book. It's actually from the Oil Magic Book. I don't know why I was thinking it was from Oil Life. I think everything is from Oil Life. They're great too. Okay, thank goodness, because you guys would have been searching in the wrong place. So when you're wearing too many hats, get your mom to join your team so she can be your secretary. And that's also, you can be resourceful. Yeah, the Oil Magic book. I have so many books, and that is the Bible. I feel like that one's the one that I go to the most, but I do have some other favorites. The Emotions book is just so good too, but I'm big on the Emotion. The Advanced Oil Magic is I think probably everybody's favorite. So what time is it? 9:29. Oh, 9 my time, but 8:29 for you guys. So 30 minutes I stayed under. I did good. Does anyone have any questions, comments, stories of resourcefulness? Thank you guys for coming on. I am going to record this, or I did record it. I'm going to take a quick picture for my Instagram. Thank you. All right, let's see, did we get one chat? Yeah, it's a super good price. So $15 if you buy, so it's $45 a month, which, you just have to decide if that's in your budget or not. My mom and I are splitting it since we're on the same team, and we're going to just kind of, I probably owe you something for that, Mom, for the past couple of months, but just going to kind of figure out, who we're going to send it to, since a lot of our customers are shared too. And then my mom helps me like mail out sometimes, because it's hard to do when you have two little babies at home. So sometimes I'll just say, hey, can you send this out to, this address or whatever. So maybe if you have somebody that you live close to that you do the business with, and you can do different quantities too. So if this goes really well, which I hope it will, I hope that we are going to have to up it. I think you can get them in threes, like 3, 6, 9, 12, something like that. And maybe the price even goes down the more you get. I don't know. I'd have to look into that for you. I'll find the answer and then I'll tell you where I found the answer. Oh, yes, Cassandra. Very good to have you. Cassandra's thinking about joining our team as a builder. She's already a customer. All right, any more? Oh, total $52.41 per month for 3 books. So that's tax and everything. Very good. Thank you, Mother. All right, any questions for me? I'm happy to do a little 5-minute Q&A if anybody needs it. This is my quiet time I get away from my kids. I'm not so eager to go back upstairs. Oh, you're welcome, Shar. So glad you guys.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, you guys. So go out and be resourceful and teach your teams how to be resourceful and teach your husbands how to be resourceful. And your kids. Let's raise a resourceful nation. World.
So I always get mixed up on the Facebook. Is it obsessed with essential oils?
Obsessed with essentials.
That's the one where you can type in like anything, right? Like headache or...
Yeah, you can do it in the customer group or the builder group. I'll make sure, Shar, that you're on both of those. And then the customer group is the group that you want to make sure all your customers get added to that group. And then tag them, either like comment in there and say, welcome to, our oil group, so-and-so, we're so excited to have you. Or you can tag them.
So the difference between the two is obsessed is the one with the clients, and then what's the other one called?
Obsessed with Essentials Business Builders.
Oh, okay. I always get confused with that one.
Yeah, so it's just Obsessed with Essentials and then Obsessed with Essentials Business Builders.
Okay, so yeah, I can navigate. I think I am on both. I can navigate it. I just always forget which one to go to when I'm trying to like look up like an ailment or something. So
I go to both because you'll find answers on both. But
okay,
probably the customer group, but then there are answers on both. So I would throw it in both. I don't worry about you. You're very resourceful.
I don't know.
You are for sure. I'll help you.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Jenna.
Of course. Thank you, Rachel. You made
So,
it.
I did. I almost didn't make it, but I was glad to.
Good.
A lot of good tips.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, I'm barely starting to get more customers or people that are signing up too. So,
yeah,
got to get all the info.
You have to start somewhere. And if we're building everybody to be resourceful from the very beginning, then you're just laying your foundation for later.
That's exactly what I was doing this past weekend with my one of my customers that's a member.
Oh,
well,
awesome.
Actually, they're customers, not builders, but they're signed up and they have their website. So I was helping her and just making sure I was doing exactly what you said, even though she's super new and everything. So she's still learning, but like you said, teach her and then she'll know. Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome. Oh my gosh. I love that. Totally. Oh, that's great. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for coming on and letting me host for tonight. Melody looks like she's having so much fun.